name is Tess. I have two teenage daughters, one that is now 18 and one that is now 15. And I have recently just passed my GCSE English, and the year before I passed my GCSE Maths, all through Somerset Skills and Learning. I live in Highbridge. I work at a local school part-time, and I was lucky enough to be able to study my maths face-to-face with my tutor, and English was, to begin with, was face-to-face, and then we went remotely, which was brilliant. So to begin with, we went into class, and we were able to all chat face-to-face in a normal classroom situation. And obviously having body language and your facial expressions. So if you didn't understand something, then your tutor was quite aware of that you wanted to ask a question, or you could just sort of say, you know, can I have some extra help? But then lockdown happened, and we had to then go remote on Zoom classes. I've never done that before at all. So it was, for me, it was a little bit tricky. Because as much as I like to think that I'm fairly okay with technology, this was something I'd never done. The tutor at the time, she was brilliant. There was about 4 or 5 of us. And actually, once we all got the hang of it, we could do quizzes. She would test us on papers, and all we had to do was just write. There's a little message, and we just could write our answers on there. That was good. It was really good that you were able to offer a Zoom classrooms. So we were still engaging, we were still meeting our tutor every week, but we were just doing it in the comfort of our own homes instead. So I think a lot of us parents with the word homeschooling would feel a bit overwhelmed, depending on your child. I think no matter what your child, just seeing all this subject matter and thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do? For me personally, that's when I was just so happy that I had retaken my GCSEs literally within the last couple of years, especially with the teenagers. My eldest had done her GCSEs, and I was with her for that, but she was on to A level. But my youngest was in year 9 at the time. So she had maths, and she had Hegety Maths, who is brilliant, but she couldn't quite understand what was needed from her. And I think a lot of us, actually, even when we're doing it, we're sort of looking at it going, what do you want from me? And I was able to help her with that. And I was able to say, well, ratio, we could do ratio. We did trigonometry. At one point, I actually wanted to phone my old GCSE maths tutor and say, look, this has really helped me, thank you so much. And also it built a bond between myself and my younger daughter. She didn't think that I was just this silly parent who didn't know what she was doing, because sometimes as a parent, when you're teaching, when you're helping your kids, you kind of go back to what you were taught, and it's changed since then. So I knew what she was talking about. I knew ways that I could help her. My tutor had helped me in learning different styles that might be appropriate to my learning. So I was able to then pass that on to my daughter, which was really helpful. And actually, when she went back to school, she actually got a compliment from her teacher, and to say, well done. You did it. You did really well. There was a couple that we weren't too sure on, I have to be honest. And a couple of times in the Hegety Maths, there was a message to the teacher, and we were able to put "Mum helped," and sort of keeping in touch with the tutor. And I sort of explained that, you know, I had recently passed the GCSEs, and he turned around and said, well, that's absolutely brilliant. He said, you know, you can help her. And I said, yes, I can. And that feeling just trumps any feeling, I have to say. You know, like when you're a parent, your child goes on and you just think, oh, what am I doing? And then they smile and they go, I love you, mummy. And that feels good, doesn't it? Actually helping your children, being able to understand something, maths and English, that was the same kind of feeling. It was really good. So when we got told that we weren't taking our exams, I have to say I was a little bit gutted about that, because I would have liked to have sat down and did my papers on a subject that I had studied for. So I kind of felt at one with the year 11s at the time, and I understood how they felt. And in fact, I actually put a social media notice, that message up saying, you know, good luck to all the year 11s, and you know, I understand how you feel, because a couple of my friends have got children that were taking GCSEs. But I would like to have had the opportunity to take the exam. However, with the teacher assessment, I got a grade 5. Absolutely, I was amazed. I was so happy. And the thing with that is, previous to that, I'd actually got a grade 5 for my maths, and that was under normal, going to class every week, sitting down, taking an exam. This time I got a 5. It was a teacher assessment. We'd done half of our studying in a classroom, and then COVID happened and lockdown. So the other half was by remote. And I have to take this opportunity to thank my tutor, because the content that we learned in such a short amount of time, and I got a grade 5 because of that. And that just shows how amazingly talented that tutor is. Because as much as I'm learning, and as much as you get what you put into it, and yes, we get content, and yes, like, you go away and you also do added learning and everything else, but she was able to get that content to us through lockdown, on Zoom meetings as well. We were able to do papers, and then we had to take screenshots and send them over by email. And it was a different way of learning, and it resulted in a level 5. You know, I just feel so proud of myself and for the others, that considering we were in a world which we didn't even know anymore, everything had changed. It hadn't just changed for one person, it changed for the whole world. And yeah, and I managed to pass my GCSE English with a level 5, and I put that on social media, because I was very proud. I also tagged Somerset Skills and Learning and said a big huge thank you very much, because I think teamwork makes the dream work, doesn't it? I would recommend Somerset Skills and Learning for GCSE. I've had the absolute pleasure of doing 2, and I've also done a level 2 course, and I'm now looking at doing a level 3. And I don't think I would have done any of that without them. I wouldn't be who I am today without them, and I thank them greatly. I would recommend to just to go in, fill out the form and give it a go, because we don't know what the year ahead brings. But I was very lucky in a world that was changing quite rapidly, and they adapted very quickly, and they were there to help, and they had to change their way of teaching, their way of being able to give their students what they needed, and they knew that, and they changed rapidly, and they gave, I say our students, because that was me at the time, they gave us everything that I felt that they could have given us in a classroom, be it remotely, be it on a phone call. I would definitely recommend anybody that's thinking of helping their children out, doing a different job, and you need those grades. I really would say go for it. Just give it a go, because what else have you got to lose? You could end up like I did, and you could go on and, you know, you could help your kids in, and then you build a bond. You could go on and do a job and gain further skills. You could just do it just for you, just to say, I've done it.